Hi, welcome to the TriEssence martial art channel. Today we're going to talk a bit about jabs. In one of my previous videos, I discussed why a lot of the traditional martial art techniques doesn't work in modern context. And one of the reasons is because in modern fighting, jab is used a lot, and that was not the case back in the old days in China. So a lot of systems are not prepared against jabs. And people today, they don't understand that, so they still try to use the classical blocks against jabs, and that's why a lot of times they fail. So today we're going to go a bit more into that scenario. First of all, we're going to talk a bit about what doesn't work, alright? The first thing that doesn't work is trying to grab it. Okay, especially with stuff like Aikido. Those one like when the guy punches, you want to grab the punch and then put him in a joint lock. Obviously this doesn't work against jabs because the punch is so fast and you don't even know where to grab. It could be, it could be here, there, and any slight difference, you're gonna miss the punch. Alright? And in that regard, this kind of grab might not even work against a cross. Okay, so the jab is really fast, but even a cross in today's world, the guy's gonna hit you and come back. You're not gonna expand. I don't think anybody expands like this when they punch and don't pull their hand back. And when that happens, even then it's going to be very difficult to grab. So Aikido, in my opinion, is designed against weapons back in the days, where you can't really do this. You got to dedicate your cut or thrust, and then you can use those kind of things. Alright. Next thing I talk about is stuff like karate. They have the very classical blocks that go like this. Alright. The reason they put so much force into it is because the karate's own punches are very hard, so you need the hard force to block that punch. While this block could work on a jab if you're fast enough, the problem for it is that you're too exposed for the follow-ups. Right? So let's say I'm really fast and I just block that jab. What about the second punch? Right? What if the guy does a 1-2, jab and cross? So the second one is going to be a problem, right? You dedicate everything to this. So this block is a legit martial art block, but it doesn't work against fast punches. The next one to look at is some of the Filipino things. I recently seen some video where they had, they took on that puncher, they're gonna break his arm, and then while holding this arm, they're gonna hit the balls, hit the face, and then throw the guy on the ground. They have millions of things to do once they grab this arm. Right, you can do all sorts of stuff and stuff, but problem, right? How do you grab this hand? Like I just said, grabbing a jab is not possible, alright, unless the guy can't jab. And even a cross, if the guy is, cross is a straight one. This is the opposite feet. Yeah, so even if it's a cross, which is more dedicated than a jab, they're still gonna do that and pull back, alright? So unless you catch him right on the moment of extension, you can actually lock this arm. Otherwise, the moment you catch it, it's going to come back, and you don't have enough force to hold him there, because he has momentum, right? He's going to do that, there's momentum involved, and you just try to hold it where it is. Very hard. So without being able to get to a position like this, none of this technique matter. You can have the best thing to do once you're here, but if you can't get here, it means nothing. Alright? So that process I find is quite impractical. Next thing to look at is some of the Southern styles. For example, one of the Southern styles, they have a classic block where they first block here, then they push there, and then they punch. The reason they have two blocks for a single punch is because in the South, they have very hard bridges. The arm is very solid, it's very dense. So often you can't just move it out of the way, they're too heavy. That's why they first move to this direction, and then they go to the other direction, and then they punch them. Alright, once again, stuff like this won't work against fast punches, jab or cross, because you have too many moves against one punch. Right, so let's revise here. The first of all, you can't be overly exposed. Second of all, you can't grab. And third of all, you can't have 1-2 moves against a single punch that is fast. Because unless you move twice in heat speed, otherwise you are not gonna do it in time. Another one that I watched recently is someone who said when the guy punches, you wanna cut through, right? And then in doing so, stop him from doing the cross. He's saying that this is for a jab, okay? And that is not possible once again, because let's just look at the speed of the jab, right? And I'm not talking about a fake jab. If the guy doing fake jab, you don't need to worry because he's not really connecting. He's just trying to distract you. But let's look at a real jab that actually connects. And just check the speed. You think you're going to be able to cut to the side in that timing? Watch again, like that. That's the speed of a jab. And a jab cross would be, right? I don't think majority of people have the speed to cut in. To do the punch again, keep the arm again. Okay. To cut in here. What will happen is you're going to throw and this punch is going to be bad and you're going to come in, so it's going to hit your face. So those are very impractical techniques, alright? And when you are learning martial art, you need to really be logical and practical about it and ask yourself, can that technique work in real life and real speed? And opponents actually move around. And if you think like that, you realize what works and what doesn't. Alright? So now, let's talk about what can work in terms of traditional martial arts. I'm going to discuss from a few of the systems that I know of that has method against jabs or fast punches. Obviously, there are more that I don't know of, so I'm going to talk about what I do know. First of all, the stuff I'm going to talk about is Tong Bei. Alright? Tong Bei is one of the systems that actually quite similar to boxing. It doesn't fight like this, but the method of fighting is also very loose and very fast hands. It's one of the few martial arts styles in China that doesn't only favor hard punches. One of the basic moves in Tong Bei, we call it the throwing hand, right? It goes like this. And they launch it usually like that. Right? It's a very fast thing. It doesn't seriously injure the guy, but it distracts him. So often a Tong Bei practitioner would hit there and then do something else. For example, hit there and hit him there and then hit the head. For example, so they always use this as a lead to distract. And that is almost like how boxing uses jabs. So naturally, this system has its own method against such approach when they practice inside their own system. And one of the basic ones is a quick slap to the side. You just do the normal jab. Yes. You just do a quick slap to the side. Okay, the reason this works is because it's really small movement. You're not exposing yourself and you're not doing 2 moves. So even if the guy punches faster, you can punch and pull back. You knock it out of the way, alright? And in Tong Bei, you always follow this up with a hit to the face. So it's like a hit to the side, and then with the force that hits your hand, you use that to launch your hand forward in a very loose manner, almost like a jab. So let's do it slowly. So it's here. The hand starts from here. It goes like this. And when it goes like that, it slaps back to the face. And normally it would be another hand to the face, and then a punch to the solar plexus. That would be the full Tong Bei combo, one of the most basic ones. Now what happens if he does 2 punches? You can still slap it. This motion, it covers most of the possibly contacting area around your face and chest. And you can launch it really fast. So you're not risking a lot, even if you miss. Even if that's a fake jab, like it doesn't connect, and I run and I block, so it doesn't expose me. But any of the other, if I try to cut him in and hit a fake jab, I'm exposed. And if I'm doing a big block, I'm also exposed. So this is very fast. You just slap and you relax and use your arm like a wood. So when you hit the punch, it goes like that, and you hit in, right? So that's the Tong Bei approach, or one of the basic ones. Just giving a rough idea of what is the correct response. Next, we're going to look at Northern Shaolin, or we call it Shao Bei. is a rare lineage of Northern Shaolin that is taught in the very far north of China. Right? Shaobei means Shaolin North. They have a very similar approach to Tongbei. They also want to slap people. This is one of the 7 primary hand in the system. It's called Fan Pai Shou, which means turn and slap. So the idea behind this, you always slap a person and flick it back. So it's here and there, or here and sideways, or here and up. You always want to slap the arm and then flick on the person. Okay. So the difference is they use this more aggressively. So instead of using it as a cut in to hit the face, they actually hit hard on the arm. And ideally you want to hit around this area. And with enough training, a hit, whether it's either downwards or inside or outside, with enough training it will hurt. And after a couple of slaps on the guy's arm, his movement is going to be a lot slower. So this is an aggressive way to handle this. So it will look something like this. And you're hitting, right? And that's force. If you just put it on your hand. Yep. Alright, imagine this guy's arm, and you relax and it'll be like this. And notice it's a lot of force, but you're not having a big movement. Just there. And you're hitting. Alright. So that's another approach, very similar to Tongbei. Only difference is a lot of times they're not really trying to hit, they're just trying to hurt the guy's arm so that he no longer can punch after a couple of slaps. Ideally, this in China is supplemented with iron hand training so that the hit becomes really sore. Alright? And also, even if you are not good at reflex, if you're just doing this, the chance of him hitting you is quite small. Ideally, you want to react and read the movement and then do it, but if you can't, if someone is trying to hit you and then you blanked out, just doing this will stop a lot of punches from connecting, except the hooks, of course, and you have to do something else. A full combo in Shaobei would, for example, look like this. You will hit, and this hand stops the next punch, right? And not only does this stop the next punch, they worry about the fact that they can still punch, like over my hand, like here. So the combo will look like this. It will be 1, 2, 3, and then you punch through the space. And this hand is called 十风手, which means the cross-seating hand. If I do it on my own, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice they use a very similar block to karate, but it's smaller. It's not big. It's here, there. Everything is here, which makes it harder for the other guy to squeeze a punch through. Also, the way Northern Shaolin works is you don't really care what he does, you just do your own thing. I don't have to be very responsive. As long as I read the first punch and I slap in, I don't really care because this will cover everything that comes in my way and until I punch it. So that's more or less an idea how Northern Shaolin handle a jab or a jab and cross, like a combo. That they just step in and with a pre-designed move, it covers for everything. Another example would be, they will just launch the attack regardless of the jab. If you see the guy going to jab, you don't even care about the jab, they launch an attack like this, which will knock out the jab if it comes. If it doesn't launch the jab, it confuses the guy. And it will look like this. This covers everything, and this covers everything, and then the punch really comes after. So that's how Northern Shaolin basically works. Next, we're going to look at the approach from plum flower mantis. Right? It's also a very interesting style. It has very similar body work to boxing, although there are quite a few different methods of handling jab. I'm going to talk about the more unique one compared to other martial arts. In plum flower mantis, they have a very strong emphasis on body work. They want to be able to move the body very flexibly. So one of the classic way of handling a jab is to duck and punch in the ribs. Alright, as you can see in one of the form called a bengbu, where they start and they stop both like that. That's basically a dodge of a punch and then you hit them in the ribs. In Stand Start, for example, it's like this. You can see a different stepping, but the concept is the same. So this is almost like boxing. Only difference is in boxing you don't duck and hit the rib at the same time. Usually you duck, and then you come back with a hook, or you come back with an uppercut, or you duck and you come back with something else. But in traditional Chinese martial arts, or Mantis in particular, you want to do it at the same time, right? So that it put more pressure on him. And also, without gloves, a hit to the rib is going to be a lot more damaging. The problem to this, obviously, is what happens if this is unsuccessful at stopping him, and he's going to throw that punch at my face. Right? That's why he invented this body work practice. So let's say I'm here, and I go in, I'm going to move out. And when you move out, with a hand like this, it's called a low show. And this will then follow up with a hook of your own. So it will look something like this. It will be here, and this, and you hit it. Now this, once again, as you're retreating, it covers for most punches coming your way. And due to the momentum of the one dab, you can launch your own punch. Right, so that is a more or less basic idea of how Mantis handles it. It's by moving away, almost like boxing. Only difference is you actually want to hit the guy when you're moving away. The ribs, or sometimes they even duck and hit the knees. Usually when they hit the knee, then comes through here and cripples the person. Right, so that's how one of the methods Mantis uses. And the next, we're gonna look at Wing Chun. Right, a lot of the demos I've seen, Wing Chun people say, when he jabs, I'm gonna bang shou. And then when he crosses, I'm gonna tan shou, and I'm gonna hit him. And then I'm gonna go in, take him out, and throw him down on the floor. Unfortunately, that also doesn't work. Because bang shou is such a big move, and you could step to the side, and you're gonna be exposed. And even if I do tan shou, I'm gonna do this and do the cross, right? So here and there, he's gonna pull this back, so I don't really have a bridge. So this punch, I'm going in to throw the guy down, is nearly impossible, right? I've seen in one of the previous videos, bang shou is supposed to be for really close range. If I'm here at bang shou, he can't escape, because I'm gonna follow him. But if I'm here, somewhere I'm gonna stay connected. And like he can hit my stomach, then this is not gonna work so well. So this is like a very long shot at stopping two punches, unless he only gonna do a jab and a cross. He's not gonna do anything else. If I know that beforehand, then maybe this will work. But if not, it doesn't work. Wing Chun, being in the South, it's not really custom to jabs, because styles that use jab like Tongbei and Mantis, for example, they are in the North. In the South, most styles are based around the principle of Honga, which is a very hard bridge. That's why they more worry about not being able to move the guy's arm, rather than the guy being too fast to follow. But one of the moves in the form that can work is the Pak Shou, right? Because that's the one thing, it's a small move. So you have the opportunity to block the jab if you have the good reflex. And however, whether this take it back, whether this hip strike will work or not is going to depend on your speed and his speed. But if he's really fast, that cross might come before you hit him in the face. But this hand itself is quick enough and practical enough to counter jabs or fast punches. And lastly, we're going to talk briefly about Yi Chuan. Alright, that's one of the northern internal styles. Yi Chuan counter jab in a very different way. The pose that Yi Chuan has is like this. This is how usually they fight. So this pose is really very defensive in the sense that you're not allowing much space to get hit. And due to the arm being slightly swung to the side, you're covering a lot of areas. Okay? And secondly, when Yi Chuan goes in, they reach for the two hands, trying to control them. So during this time, should a person do a jab, they want to basically hold on to it. Obviously, you can't hold on to a jab because it's fast, but they still use the same kind of force. The force looks like this. If you hold the punch and tense out, the force looks like that. Right? You want to do this to every punch you touch. Obviously, when a guy's not tense and doing a fast jab, not going to have the same effect. But still, you want to put as much pressure on him as possible for that short moment of contact. So when he jabs, it's going to be like this. And at the same time, they always go in with another punch. Alright, that's the basic E-turn punch. It's a very short distance punch. So they always cut into a guy's jabbing, like this. And then from here, they have control of the guy's arms. And let's say the person is really fast, and this I didn't cut in now, I'm gonna like do a jab and a cross. This one didn't work. You see, this hand will still be around where he does the cross, and when the hand at the top, each one will just rise up and lower the body. And then from here, you structure force to hit it in the face. And shoot the cross, the jab, and the cross end up on here. Then you use this kind of rotation to hit up. So the jab is blocked by here, and then you always follow the punch. But if the guy punched before you, depends on the contact point, whether it be here or there, you have to squeeze in, well, which takes practice and reflex. But the idea is you put something of yours here to make his punch uncomfortable. If you just do this, then the next punch is free. You don't really make it difficult for him. But if you hold your hand here, then it's a lot harder for him to get a clean punch. And right after that, then it's all E-turn domain, because they want you to be here so they can do the close range stuff on you. So in E-turn, one of the basic practices, the person would stand here, and one guy would jab, the other guy would just do this, and do a jab again. So it'd be like this. So that's how they practice. Now notice the thing in common is that all these methods that work are very small and fast. No big moves would work against a very fast jab and cross. So the idea against the jab is the move has to be small, and so almost always a slap. And against the cross, either you have to slap it again, or you have to take that space before the punch comes out. The moment that jab starts, you do a block and hit at the same time, and in a structural manner so that his punch will be harder to reach you. Right? Or like I said just now, you just have to slap both of them, or downwards, or fix it and go in. There's no delicate approach, right? Stuff like cutting to the side, or like cutting here and when that punch again, you're gonna dodge it. It's too far-fetched. It could work, but chances are very slim. Especially for guys who are trained and fast. I mean, if you're fighting against a complete noob, probably can pull that off. But against a person who's trained at hitting accurately and fast, those elaborate techniques suddenly does not work. Most of the time, does not work. Alright? That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more videos in the future. And feel free to ask me things and leave them in the comment, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Thank you. Bye bye.